Welcome back, everybody. I am here and I'm so excited to introduce to you today my very dear friend that I've met a couple years ago who is really close to me. We travel together, we hang out in different situations, different scenarios together, whether it's workshops or personal development stuff or personal stuff. We go to, well, not anymore, but before pandemic, we used to go to dinners on a regular basis and just I really love this woman. She's amazing, and you'll get to see that for yourself today. Her name is YuSon Shin. Welcome, YuSon. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Lenka. You look
Yeah.
gorgeous as always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So do you. So do you. I love your peaceful background, like the swans and all. It's like, and you guys, this is important. Why I'm saying this right now is because it goes with what YuSan does for a living. And it's just, yeah, we'll get to that soon. So I would like for you, my dear, to tell us how or to share with us what your career is, because you have two. Yusan is like me, you guys. She's like running a business, successful business, growing it and all that. And while at the same time, she has a full time job. So she'll share with us about her career, about how it started and all that. And if you could tell people what like made you realize that, yes, this job I have is great and I'll stay there because I like it, but my calling is somewhere else. And what was that spark that ignited that, aha, like, oh, I want to do something else on the side?
Yeah, it came over time. It wasn't like a one-time thing. It happened a few times and
Mhm.
it, gradually, changed over time. It's that pull from your heart and your gut that although I'm like a really great real estate and corporate paralegal, and I get, hit on by headhunters all the time. That's a weird way of saying it, hit on, um, as if we're dating. But
Well,
they approach me all the time. And I'm very good at it. I make lots of money for my company. But in my soul, there was something missing. I enjoy helping people, and I wanted to, make follow my passion for helping people and help creating a future for myself,
right.
which is very different than the corporate world.
So did you like sit down one day and were you like, I'm feeling this calling, but what will I do? Or did you know right away it's in the area of healing?
I've always known that I was a healer.
Mhm.
People would oftentimes like just unload all of their personal secrets and business, and I'm like, that's one of the signs of a healer. So I get to know lots of people's secrets, but it's under lock and key. So also animals love, to, have me near them. Even animals that are afraid of people, they will come up to me. And that's also the sign of a healer. Babies love me too. So I've always known that I had that ability, and that was my true calling.
And now you guys understand why I was so excited about her background, right? You see those swans, all peaceful animals, all beautiful. Yeah, Yisan is a very powerful healer. And the way we met was through another friend who was doing her workshop. She was graduating from a coaching program, she was becoming a coach. And we went there to be in the audience for her and to support her. And we ended up sitting next to each other. And what was really interesting was like you just said, like I had this tendency to tell you things and I felt like immediately we've known each other forever, right? And then I told you about my health issues and stuff, and without her even asking you guys. And Yusan ended up healing me within like a very short times, but it was like in 1 hour session with Yusan, and I was healed from a chronic pain that my doctors didn't know what to do with. And so that's how we became friends. And then we found out that we have many friends, that we have like mutual friends, and we started to hang out as a group and stuff. So that's the history. But with healing. I understand, because when I first went to you for healing, it was inside your space where you operate your business, and I lay down and you did the Reiki thing, right? You scan my body, you put your hand above my body. So I understand this is like hands-on business that you have, like you're working with clients, you're seeing them face to face, right?
Yes.
How does that work, that business model in pandemic, like in the middle of this chaos that we find ourselves in, when a lot of hands-on businesses had to close down? How do you handle that?
So the beauty of energy healing is you don't necessarily have to do it hands on.
Mm.
And sometimes it works even better when you're working with large groups in, not in person. So it actually worked in my favor, and it was very easy to transition all of my clients from in person to Zoom or, the phone.
So that's the healing part, right? So now
Yeah.
you get to coach people over the Zoom or over phone because you are working with energy fields. I
Mm-hmm.
get that. But you also used to teach people how to become healers. You help people develop their own healing abilities or psychic abilities in your workshops, and those are also in person. I took one, so it was great, and I miss those because I wanted to graduate. There are several layers to it, and I got to do just the first one, and then the COVID happened. So is there a way that you are doing that online, or will you in the future do that online?
I'm working on creating the 2-day weekend workshops that were in person before, and putting them all on Zoom with
Hmm.
breakout rooms and things like that. It's totally possible, but there's also that personal aspect that you miss. But
Yeah.
I think everyone understands what's happening and
Yeah.
really appreciates some of the technology advances and advantages that are offered as well. So it kind of works out, pros and cons, it balances out.
Yeah, we just been through a month-long workshop training together in February. Like, as
Yeah.
I'm doing this summit on the weekends, I'm also attending this workshop with YuSon, and it worked really great. So this is just for you guys who are looking to take your offline business online. Um, the technology is fantastic, and what we can do online is amazing right now. But just know that whatever idea or whatever your expertise is, you can take that, you can teach it to people through online, right? Through virtual summits, through virtual workshops, through master classes. You can open your Facebook group. You get to teach people there, hang out with them in live videos and all that stuff, and parties or whatever they call it on Facebook these days. Yeah, so just don't be afraid. That audience is there. And what's great about online business is what I love, and I don't know if that's your experience too, YuSon, is that you get to reach much bigger, broader audience of people you would have not normally known or met or run into, right?
Absolutely.
So
An
that's what I'm
international
seeing.
crowd.
Yes, 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 yes. In your word, tell us about that, actually, about what happened last month.
Well, we couldn't do the workshop in person, so we put it on Zoom, and there were so many more people that came to us on the international, audience forefront.
Yeah,
And
there
we
were.
had people from Australia, the Czech Republic, Ireland. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it was fantastic. And just to hear everybody's like different time zones, right? So people like chime in and they're like, good evening, good morning, good night. It's like funny. But also the accents and stuff, it was great. It was a great energy. Yeah. So just don't be afraid. Is there any tips that you have that you'd give to someone who is like in our situation, you and I, we have full-time job and full-time, like, how do you, with full-time job, your plate is already full, how do you add full-time business on top of that? Like, how do you manage it all?
Um, well, my motivation is stronger than my fear.
Hmm.
There was a lot of fear when I first started the business. There was a lot of, self doubt,
Hmm.
self sabotage, and I had to actually really work on myself and my own psychology.
Yeah,
And that was like the biggest thing that I had to overcome. Once I overcame that, and sometimes it's still a process, um, it just everything became clear, and my goals, it just crystallized for me, so it just
definitely.
made more sense. Yeah.
Definitely. For me, I'm trying to think back to my business. It was like being organized is really important to me. So, like when you have this huge pile of extra things to do around your full time job and full time life, right? It's like as like you said, clear as you can be, and then like prioritize what is really the money making activity here, what do I need to
Mm.
focus on first, and then what's like things that I can delegate to other people, right? Like they'll support the growth and the marketing and all that me being out there, but it's not necessarily making money. Money making is me, my time with my client, right? So
Right.
yeah, you have to prioritize like that. So to me, like huge help was my virtual assistant. She's fantastic. So I know you have help too, right? You have someone too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely worth investing in someone who can support you like that. To me, it was like, wow, now I can breathe and now I can focus on that number one priority. So that's cool. So Yusan, tell us, how many clients do you work with right now? What like in terms of impact, are you where you always dreamt of being, or do you want to expand and reach out to more people now?
Let's see. I think, I mean, my healing business is actually a full-time business.
Hmm.
So I do that full-time around my other full-time corporate job. As you know, it's quite interesting. Um, and what was the question?
In terms of impact, so where I'm going with this question is, we can scale up, right? And we can always, like, I'm talking about creating that legacy, from idea to legacy. So you had this beautiful idea, you created online business, you get to create impact with people one-on-one or through group
Mhm.
coaching. Now, what would be the next step to create that legacy, to create something that will make like a global impact?
Oh, I see. Okay. So, for me, it's about trying to impact as many people as possible with just one of me. So, how can I duplicate myself? And so I can do that with online classes. I can do that with group healings rather than one on one. And I've actually found that they're just as effective as the one on ones.
Hmm.
So it's really about leveraging, my talents to the best of my abilities without diluting the impact on my clients. So to help as many people as I can, and technology again helps me do that. If there's only one of me, I don't have to be on Zoom one on one with people. People can see a recording of me and still
Exactly.
get the same effect.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
still disperse the same information. Yeah.
Yes. And what's beautiful is that once you teach it to someone, they can make it their own and they can add their own personality to it, their own gifts, their own talents, and they can then go and teach it to others. So it's kind of like, spreading beautifully, and people
Yeah.
impact people. So that effect that you're having is like global, although you maybe work within your community, but it moves and it grows and it like impacts a lot of people. So that's beautiful. That's how you create legacy, little by little.
Yeah.
So
It's a
yeah.
positive ripple.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Is there anything that you would do differently, like looking back in hindsight? Is there anything you'd change, or would you do it exactly the same?
Um, if I had to really think about it, I would take a lot more risk. We grow up kind of risk averse a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest thing is, I remember my parents telling me in childhood, you have to do things right or else, it goes on your permanent record. Like, what is this permanent record? There is no permanent record. So this is your life. This is your life now.
Yeah.
And so I wish that I didn't play it safe so much and I had taken more risks. And, because every time I fell flat on my face, I actually learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of and how much easier it is to pick myself up than I think. You kind of have these thoughts that it might be like the end, and it becomes more catastrophic in your mind than
Mm-hmm.
it actually is. A little like tumble, a little trip and fall, isn't going to kill anybody. It just
Mm-hmm.
makes us stronger. And so I wish I'd taken more chances. And Yeah, and sometimes, like thinking back too, I was always so serious about doing the right thing that the fun kind of like left left the room. And I have to remember sometimes that I can take risks and I can, really push myself and still have fun. So it has to be an and situation, not an or. So that's what I would kind of remind myself, and I continue to remind myself.
That is so, so wise. Both and not what was the other one? Either or
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Um, so in the closing, is there anything else you'd like our audience to know? What would you equip them with before we let them go?
I think it's really important to remember that everyone is born with, innate gifts that are
Mhm.
God given. And if you don't believe in God, that, you were just born with. And we choose to activate those. It's completely up to us. It's like muscles that we choose to develop. And it's so important because those are our superpowers. That's what makes us us. That's what makes you you. And there's only one you. No one else can replace you. No one else can be like you. And also, don't try to be like anyone else.
Yes.
So that's my word of advice.
Thank you. That's really deep, actually, because many people are talking about the imposter syndrome. Like, you cannot be an imposter. There is nobody else who is like you. So even if you liked what someone else said or how someone else did something, if you do it, it's gonna be completely different because we are bringing you into that equation, right? So
Right.
just get over it and just do it, right? Don't be scared. Don't be
Really, get
scared.
over yourself.
Get over yourself. Don't be scared. Exactly. Exactly. My dear, you brought a wonderful gift, one that's unlike any other. And I would like for you to tell us what it is and how we can use it.
So basically, I have this really powerful guided meditation. It's called Ball of Light Manifesting and Protection.
Mm-hmm.
So it really guides you into making a daily practice of thinking about what you want and what you want to experience in your day.
Mm-hmm.
And each day is a building block for your life. So if you think of it that way. And when I talk about protection, I don't mean protection from evil or anything like that. It's just sometimes life gets overwhelming and there's a collective fear that, goes on and is just, in the ethers. And it's hard not to be affected, especially when the riots were happening,
Mm-hmm.
when COVID fears like were out of control in the beginning before people kind of simmered down. You need to just protect your energies, right? And have strong boundaries in that way. So this meditation helps you do that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, for those of you who feel like you need to be protected from something negative going on in the world, listen to the meditation. For those of you who want to manifest something amazing into your life, listen to the meditation. You'll find a meditation underneath this video. Just click the button and download it. And where can people find you if someone wanted to connect with you, ask you questions, or maybe become a healer like you? Where can people connect with you?
They can find me on my website. It's just my name, www.yuson, YuSon, shin.com.
Wonderful. And you'll also find Yusan in our group, in our community for this summit. The whole month of March, we'll be hanging out there. So if you want to connect with her, talk to her, and your questions by her, your ideas, she'll be there available to answer them for you. Thank you so much, my dear, for your time today, for your
Thank
wisdom, for
you.
sharing your journey with us. I'm sure it inspired many people watching this show. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lenka.
And for you guys, I have news. Well, it's not really that much of a news. You guys hear me say it every day. It's the same news I share. It's tomorrow. We'll see you with another interview and with another beautiful speaker. Have a great day.